Any preacher will tell you sermon delivery is not easy. It takes a lot of time, effort, and energy, but there are some things that every preacher can do, that every communicator can do, to make their preaching more effective and their delivery more poignant. So I want to give you right now 16 keys to effective sermon delivery, and some of these have been adapted by other preachers that I've heard talk about this topic, but I want to give you these 16 to help you in your personal preparation process. Number one, be well prepared. Certainly that someone could say, well, that goes without saying, but not everybody makes the time they need to make for study. You know what? The average sermon takes me 20 to 25 hours to prepare for a Sunday morning. You may not have that, but give what you have, because your preparation will make a huge difference in the delivery of your sermon. People can tell when you're prepared. People can tell when you're ready. People can tell when you know your content, when you know your notes, and it frees you up to preach in a way that you can't when you're not. Number two, be passionate. Identify your unique and meaningful connection to the topic. You know what? You might have heard somebody preach that passage and they did great in their context with the people they were talking to, but you're talking to a different group of people, and there's something about your connection to that passage and that topic that the Holy Spirit wants to work through and energize to hit home with the people who are sitting in that room. And passion leads to mastery. Your presentation, honestly, it's nothing without it. If you're not passionate, the people listening to you will not be passionate. In fact, science shows that passion is contagious. You can't inspire others unless you're inspired yourself. Number three, be life-giving. I think we've all heard pastors or teachers or preachers who approached the topic, and the way that they illustrated it and built their need out was by telling us all the things that we weren't doing and all the ways that we were messing up. I would encourage you to encourage people to trust God, to walk by faith. Model that in the way that you present the text. Assume the want to. But people want to experience God's blessing. People want to walk in His power. People want to be free from sin. So what does it look like to do those things? And the want to is so important for people to be motivated to go to God and to walk in His power for their life. Number four, be on time. Don't ever go over the time limit that's been given to you, because the moment you go out of your time, you're outside of your authority. And I think we all need to remember the 11th commandment. Blessed are the short, for they shall speak again. And here's the truth. Often less is more. Like the TED Talks, for instance, they use 18 minutes as an ideal length of time for presentation because they understand that there's only so much that the mind can take in. Sometimes your message might be longer than that. What do you need to do? If your message is longer than that, you need to be intentional about what you build into it. How do you illustrate the topic? Where are those stories? Where are those transition moments? And how do you capture people's attention regularly through the message? Number five, reflect your level of authority. Hearing Pastor Chris Hodges talk about this from Church of the Highlands was so powerful. Speak within your sphere of authority, not outside of your credibility. Unless you have the right credibility or platform to confront and challenge people, then don't. It's usually better just to see yourself as one of them and encourage them. You know, that's where really powerful, poignant messages come from, where the application really cuts to the heart. It's because they know you feel it too. Number six, master the art of storytelling. One of the ways I practice this is when I'm reading my kids' books at night, I read it just like I would be reading it to an audience. And you want to tell stories that reach people's hearts and minds. Here's the thing, scientists tell us brain scans reveal that stories stimulate and engage the human brain. You want that to occur when you're speaking. Number seven, strive to be conversational. You know what? People want to hear what you're saying, but sometimes they can't when we're shouting at them. Talk to them like you would talk to a close friend. You know what? And the better rehearsed, while not feeling rehearsed, you are, the more relaxed, the more authentic you will be, and your audience will feel that authenticity. The people sitting in the room will feel it. Number eight, deliver jaw-dropping moments. You know, jaw-dropping moment is when in your presentation, in your sermon, you deliver something that is shocking, impressive. I'm not talking about shock and awe for shock and awe's sake. I'm talking about something that helps people remember. A lot of times that's just a visual aid. Something that you do that's outside of the norm of what you do so that people get a hold of what you're talking about. Number nine, lighten up. Man, smile. Have a sense of humor. You know what? There's something about smile that warms people up. Don't take yourself too seriously. If you're on camera, the camera loves a smile. If you're in a room, people relate to a smile. Humor lowers defenses, making your people who are listening to you more receptive to your message. It also makes you seem more likable, like you actually are. Number 10, loosen up. Have some fun. Don't just smile, but actually enjoy what you're doing. If you're not good at being funny, don't try. Just have fun. If you do, they will. Number 11, pictures over text. What am I saying about that? I'm saying people are a lot more likely to remember a picture than they are words. So paint a picture with your words, or actually show them a picture at time to help them get your point. Number 12, stay in your lane. You know what? There's an area where you can be authentic, open, and transparent. Most people can spot a phony. So if you try to be something you're not, guess what? They're gonna be able to tell. So be who you are and trust that God is gonna work through you. He's called you anyway. Number 13, don't be edgy. You know what? When I talk about those shock moments earlier, I'm not talking about edginess. Being provocative or edgy or inappropriate to try to get people's attention doesn't work. You gain nothing from making people frustrated or irritated or upset. You want to win your enemies to Christ, but if you alienate them by what you say, it'll be very hard to win them. Number 14, always be applicable. You know, people need to know how this works on Monday. They need to know that you've answered the so what question. Be careful of inspiring people, but inspiring them when they have no clue to actually know how to live out what you've told them. You can preach on loving God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. People will say, I want to do that, but I don't know how to do that. You've got to help them understand the how. Number 15, listen to and evaluate yourself. It's not easy, it's not fun. A lot of people don't like to do it, but you've got to listen to you to know how it's landing, to know where you need to improve. And here's the beautiful thing. There's always going to be, hopefully, a gap between where you want to be and where you are. What does that demonstrate? It demonstrates that there's still a hunger. You have room to grow. And here's the good news. You can. Number 16, have some pie and coffee. This is a great thing I got from Pastor Jim Cymbala at Brooklyn Tabernacle. He said, you know what? Too many of us live and die on the messages that we preach, especially young preachers. We need to learn to celebrate the win and move forward, and recognize when we didn't do so well and move forward. So why do I say have your pie and coffee? Because if you preach a good message, go out and celebrate, he said. Have a piece of pie, drink a cup of coffee, enjoy it. And if you preached a lousy message, go get yourself a piece of pie and a cup of coffee and enjoy it. You know what? There are more messages to preach, and God has more for you to do. So move past your mistakes, recognize where improvement is needed, and move forward. God's got it.